Today we're going to look at Smart English, and I'm going to try to give you an insight, especially during these times with the coronavirus and having to practice distance learning and teaching online, and just kind of give an insight into how to teach or how to do a lesson online, how I would do it personally. Okay, so using Smart English. And for those of you that aren't using Smart English, I still think that a lot of the ideas and strategies that I'm going to talk about today, you can still take and kind of apply to the book that you're using. All right? Okay. So our agenda today, so briefly just going to give an overview of Smart English. I don't want to take too much of the time to do this, but just going to introduce on what the course is and what we're going to be working with as teachers to teach our lessons, okay? And then we'll go into the big part of it. So after my overview, we'll go into the model lesson, okay? So we'll do the activities, I would introduce to the book, introduce the key targets, and kind of go forward with extra activity ideas. This could include just doing homework or projects, and then we'll wrap it up with all the kind of information that you guys are going to be wanting, okay? So let's get into the overview for Smart English, all right? Oh, and also, if you have any questions at all, feel free, write them in the chat or put them in the Q&A, which hopefully we'll have enough time at the end. If there's any leftover questions in the Q&A or if there's anything I see in the chat, I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities, all right? So hello again, for those that are just coming in. We're just getting started, so perfect time. So, oh, and one more thing, just one more. Be sure to change your chat settings to all panelists and attendees, all right? Because I want, once we get into the model lesson, I want everyone to be able to see each other's answers and see each other's kind of comments as well, all right? So, Smart English. So there are, as you can see, 7 levels, okay? So we have 7 books, starting from the pre-K starter book up to level 6, okay? So these are kind of focusing on, on the CEFR scale, going from pre-A1 up to A2. So these are a lot of our, this is primary school, okay? This is elementary school level books. Right? So we have, all these student books from level S to 6. We have flashcards, audio CDs, okay, workbooks, teacher's manual, all these resources. So these are all the components that we are going to be using to teach our lessons, all right? So we got the flashcards, we've got an ebook, which is the most important thing for distance learning and teaching online, and just a lot of practice and ideas. So hopefully you guys are all utilizing, whether it's our books or different books, utilizing your teacher's manual to kind of help. And then, hopefully after today you have some insight on how to adapt some of the lessons that are in your teacher's manual into the online setting, okay? So these are our components. And also, a big tool that you can use, especially now with the distance learning, is our online platform, eSmart Class. So here we have a lot of extra online practice that you can assign as homework or kind of check up with the students as a class and using in your class, all right? So we'll go over this. This is where we're going to access our ebook. Okay? It's going to be on eSmart Class. And then in the teacher's manual, we have all these activity sheets, MP3 files, all of that to kind of utilize with our students. So a lot of the worksheets I'm going to show in a bit, you can put them in all in one place for the students to download or send out to them. Okay, so all these files you can get to your students through download or by other means. And very quickly, we'll go through the typical lesson, okay? The lesson walkthrough of the book. So in Smart English, there are 12 regular lessons, 6 review lessons, and then 2 assessments. Okay? So you can kind of look at it as, first semester we'll have 6 regular lessons and 3 review, and then the assessment, like a midterm. Okay? So looking at it here, like more visually, so every 2 regular lessons, you will have your review lesson. So in Smart English, it's called Jump Up, all right? And then at the end, to show your progress, is the assessment lesson, all right? So looking first at our regular lesson, so always starts with first a link and say. So this is where we are, of course, introducing the dialogue, introducing, the expressions that the students are going to be using, and focusing on the listening and speaking a little bit, okay? So focusing on those 2 main skills. And then kind of a simple kind of task for the students as it, gets progressively more challenging as you go up, but just a quick fill in the blanks. So we have empty bubbles where the students have to write down the correct number. So focuses on dialogue for the first page, and then look and learn. So here we're going into the vocabulary, what are the target words, and then looking at the structures. Okay, so this is kind of what the students are going to be practicing even more. Okay, so vocab and structures, and then link and review. So then we have, so with a lot of eFuture books, we tried to link language and vocabulary from previous lessons into the current lesson. So I don't know if you can see on the very top, right next to it says link and review, it says L1 and L2. And that is lesson 1 and lesson 2. So that's where these old targets are being taken. So in my experience in elementary school, there was a lot of times where students learned language in lesson 1 and lesson 2, but they would never go back to those words or targets anymore. So in this way, it's not a learn it and, put it to the side. It's more of a consistent cycle. Okay, we're going to practice these. It's going to come up again, and the students can really kind of digest and really learn the languages, okay, or learn the targets. All right. Hello, everyone that's just come in. So we're just consolidating. All right. And then we're going into the review. Okay, so the review lesson. So it also has a link and say, but this time now we have kind of a comic story to go along with it. So we're, again, reviewing the previous 2 lessons. So we're looking at, multiple sentences from those lessons, all right? So through comics. And then the same concept, look and write in the correct number in all of these blanks, okay? So we have to look and say, so we have the comics, and then listen and do. Okay. So where you can, sing along, do some chants, and then have more review activities. So read and draw, or read and match. Okay. So looking at all of the old vocabulary and matching them up. All right. So the song and listening activity. And then the read and do here, part C. Again, more practice for the review targets. All right. Okay, I'm going to kind of go quickly through here. And then the last part here is the assessment. So show your progress. And this is basically, assessing the students. What do they remember? Can they do it? So if you can see on here, we go through each of these skills. So we have a listening portion, speaking, and then reading and writing. And then there's also a story where the students can practice. Okay? All right, so let's get into our lesson. All right, let's get into our lesson. So we know what we have in the series. We know all the components. We have our student book. We have our workbook. We have online components. Okay? We have all these resources. All right, so let's get into our lesson. So what I like to do with my class is usually on a board or somewhere. So like in an online setting, we can have a class agenda. Like if I had like a small whiteboard or small chalkboard, you can probably put it behind you or something, or display it on your screen somehow. But like to show what the students are going to be doing, and then kind of go through it and the students know what part of the lesson they're at. Okay, so it gives them like a mental map of what they're going to be doing today. So we're going to introduce, so I'm going to introduce the lesson that we're going to be doing, and then kind of pre-teach. So I always like to pre-teach the vocabulary and present the vocabulary to the students before getting too deep into the lesson. Okay? So if I can pre-teach it, it saves a bit of time in the middle of the lesson. So that's kind of my style. And then we'll go into our warm-up activity, and then go into link and say, and look and learn, and then kind of a preview of maybe have an idea of what our main target today is. We were going to go grocery shopping, all right? Going to go grocery shopping. So this is our agenda today for the class, all right? So today, so our lesson is lesson 14. So this is level 3 of Smart English. So we're looking at lesson 14, and the title is At Lunch. So for those that are, it's evening time. I know some of us here in Asia, we haven't had lunch yet, or maybe you had an early lunch. What have you guys had for lunch today? What do you like to have for lunch? I know I barely decide what I have for lunch, right when lunchtime happens. But so yeah, for this one, we can go ahead and write in the chat. So salad, ooh, pasta, ooh, a burger. Ooh, like to have ramen for lunch, sandwich, spaghetti. Okay, you don't have to say the words that are in the. Oh, fried chicken. Ooh, tuna sandwich. Tuna sandwich doesn't sound bad. Some fish. Just a milkshake. Malatang. Like type pizza, spaghetti. A lot of pastas in the chat. Pretty good. Vegetables, healthy. Very good. Eggs. Maybe an egg sandwich. Ensabolado. What is in an ensabolado? Ensabolado? Judith? Con atole. Pizza forever, Cindy. Egg, toast, and milk. Yeah, so it could be just what did you have to eat. So a lot of us are in for breakfast as well. Noodles, hamburgers, loteria, pizza. Okay. Yeah, so if you already guessed, today we're going to kind of cover some food. So we're going to go over some food and what we like to have for lunch or dinner. Okay. For at lunch, this is book 3 of Smart English. Book 3. So I'm going right in the middle. Okay. So we're going for at lunch. So let's go through our vocabulary. Yeah, so for those of us that are in Korea, this is going to set us perfectly up for lunchtime. Okay. So we're going to go over some food. So vocabulary. So like here, just these are our flashcards. So normally you could have your physical flashcards and show them up, or you can take the images and put them in the PowerPoint. So first one here, we have fried chicken. Oh, fried chicken. How many like fried chicken? How many people love fried chicken? I love it a lot, and I try not to have it more than once a month, but it's very difficult. So for those that aren't in Korea, is there anybody has tried Korean fried chicken? I think Korean fried chicken is, coming from the States, is a step above the normal chicken that I've had. So if there's any chance you can find a Korean fried chicken place, go for it. So that's my kind of suggestion for you guys. All right? So Korean fried chicken. So fried chicken, right? Fried chicken. Yeah, some people don't, it can be a bit too greasy. Yeah. Next one here, we have hamburger. So in the class, of course, you can listen and repeat with the students. You can have the MP3 for the words. So for here, in a webinar setting, it's not exactly the same. So I'm just kind of mimicking how I do it. So hamburger, kind of listen and repeat with the students. Hamburger children from USA. KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, or is it Korean Fried Chicken? There's 2 KFCs now. But hamburger, okay? So what's your favorite hamburger? Or what's your hamburger, fast food? Yeah, you can think about it. Burger King. Burger King's popular. Being from California, I know a lot of people might think it's controversial, but I'm very much an In-N-Out person from California. I know some people can overhype it, but In-N-Out is delicious. Okay. Homemade, just make it the way you like it. Carl's Jr., interesting. Rice burgers, interesting. I know I've seen some in Korea as well, but I've never tried it. Okay, and then the next one here, we have noodles. Noodles, there are so many different noodles depending on what country you're going from. So noodles. I know a lot of people said you had noodles for lunch. So noodles is very good. I'm very much a rice person, but occasionally I do like noodles. Okay. So a lot of these questions that I'm asking as well as we go through the vocabulary is a way to kind of connect the students to the words. And the more connection that you can bring to the words with the students helps them remember the word as well. Okay, so Italian pasta. So we have like ramen, pad thai, good spicy noodles, buldak for those that in Korea. I've never had it. I mean, I had one bite and stomach will hurt later. Ooh, jjajangmyeon. Ooh, very good. Okay. And then we have pizza, delicious pizza. Okay. Pizza. So what kind of pizzas are there? What kind of pizza do you like? So you can kind of go through that with the class. Okay. And then we have sandwich. Sandwich. Right? Sandwich. So it's just a lot of listen and repeat. And then if you ever, I'll talk about it at the end. I'll have a little bit of keynotes for vocabulary and stuff. And then we have spaghetti. So we had the vocabulary word noodles, and then noodles are in spaghetti as well. And then kind of ask about spaghetti. All right. So those were our key vocabulary words. We had 6 words. So we had noodles, we had spaghetti, we had pizza, sandwich, hamburgers, and what was our 6th one? You remember? So pizza, hamburgers, sandwich, spaghetti, noodles, and what? Who are the good students? Can remember? Chicken, very good, fried chicken. All right, and then we can introduce some of our sentences, okay? Some of our sentences. So this is our key sentence that we're going to practice. So we have one question here, what's for lunch? And then another question here, what do they want for lunch? Okay? What does she want for lunch? And then their answer, they want a sandwich. She wants a sandwich. So then you kind of go over, present these to the students and kind of practice. Okay. So kind of some key notes here that I like to do with my students. So this is kind of bridging the vocabulary and grammar. So I introduced 6 words, but what you should do is look through any stories, look through any dialogues that are in the lesson, and kind of pick out some words that you think your students might not know, and you can add them. You can add them to the pre-teaching of vocabulary, all right? And then, so when you're introducing the key sentences, depending on the age, whether it's, mostly if you focus on the upper elementary, 5th and 6th grade students, if you want to kind of go over the grammar with them, you can. Just remember to take the time for it. And another thing, if you feel like using their native language, using their L1 is important. Go go ahead and go for it. So a lot of times when I introduced the sentences and the vocabulary, I used Korean with the students. So a lot of the food we have here in Korean would be the same. So chicken would be chicken, hamburger is like hamburger. Noodles would be a little different. Myeon would be the Korean word for noodles. So for food, but if you're doing other targets, you can use their native language to help them understand the vocabulary or the sentences. Okay? So that's the vocabulary and grammar. Now for our warm-up. Okay, so now after this. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to use a Google form. And so here's the link. Oops, hold on. I need to change to all attendees. So here's the link. So if everyone can go to this link, go to the survey. Hopefully I've opened it. But this one is a survey about food. Okay, about food. So I want us to take the survey about food. So pick your favorite food. So let me try to show what Google Doc is. Okay, so go over it. Okay, to get into my Google Forms. So what your forms should look like, it should look like this. So these are our words. So it's just 4 or 5 simple ones here. So I'm getting some responses in. Thank you guys. So this is one way to kind of do a warm-up. So I'm looking through, kind of see what the answers are for everyone. Between pasta, curry, burgers, and pizza. Looks like pasta is kind of an overwhelming favorite right now, as well as apples being the best fruits. Yeah, so we can see a live view into what people are picking. A lot of people like coffee. Not surprised. Thank you guys. They're saying done in the chats. And then writing in your favorite food. Okay, so this is something you can do with your students, a different way to use Google Forms. Okay, so I just want to see what everyone's responses are. Looking through, we have kimbap, pozole, ooh, miso soup, good spicy soup, ceviche, Peruvian ceviche. Ooh, chicken tikka masala. It's some wide variety. So going through here, it looks like 26 people like pasta, 21 like apples, McDonald's, and KFC. Oh, KFC. KFC coming into the lead here. I saw a lot of Burger Kings in the chat, but Burger King is coming in last here. And then, of course, coffee. I think coffee is an overwhelming one here. Okay, so it's a quick little warm-up to see everyone's food, and then you can always talk about it with everyone. Right? Kind of like we did as we were going through the language. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so we got 68. That's a good number. And then as you go through, if you want to see the individuals that did it, you can have here. You can always. One thing I didn't do it. Make sure to. For your class and your students, they can input their name as well. So, yeah, personally, I can't have coffee, so my choice would be either water or juice. Yeah, water or juice for me. Yeah, coffee. If I had coffee, I would be speaking a million miles an hour to you guys right now. I'm very sensitive to coffee, so I can't have it. I think the last time I had it was a few weeks ago, and I didn't have good sleep that night because I was very awake the whole day. I had 3 sips of coffee at 9 a.m., and I was still kind of wired till 9 p.m. So I'm very sensitive to coffee. So this is a quick warm-up. So looking at what you would want for lunch. Okay, very good. Tired days. It's a good tool to keep you awake. Okay. All right. So that's your favorite foods. All right. So now let's look at our ebook. So this is kind of our warm up. We get the students. Now the students are in their English mode. They're thinking about, the words. They know what they're going to be talking about in the lesson. Okay. So it's setting them up to succeed for the lesson. Okay. So now let's look at our ebook. So hopefully I don't have to sign back in. Okay, we're good. So let's go to our lesson. Okay, so at lunch is what our lesson is. So we're going into look and say. So first, I want to look at this here. Okay, so we have 4 pictures here. So let's look at this first picture here. What do you see? What do you see? So I'm going to try it now. So if you want to answer my questions, feel free to raise your hand, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak. Okay, so we're going to do a picture walk. I'm going to give a picture walk. So if not, you can always type in the chat, also fine. So where are the students? Where are the students? In the cafeteria. Good, Jenny. So they're in the cafeteria. So it looks like they are getting ready to eat. Okay? In the school cafeteria, lunchroom. Good. He's saying he's hungry. And then what do you think she's saying? What do you think she says? Me too? Okay, maybe me too. Can't see. Oh, on the cell phones, okay. Already, maybe. I'm hungry already. Can't wait to eat. Good. Okay. So in the next picture, so what does he have? What does he have on his tray now? Oh, I'm starving. Another one. What does he have on his tray? Spaghetti. Good, spaghetti. Do you like spaghetti? What else does it? What is this? So he has like a drink. Milk. Good, milk. And then maybe what does he have in his hand? Can you see what's in his hand? A tomato, maybe? An apple? My first guess was orange. might be an apple. Okay. A lot of things. Oh, we'll go with apple. Everyone thinks apple. Okay. And then here. So I think actually looking at the third picture, we can probably tell now that it was an orange. It was an orange. You can see all the peelings here. So they peeled the orange and then ate it. Yeah? I mean, unless he, used his spoon. Maybe he used a spoon to like take the skin off the apple. Could be. Yeah. And then what do we have here at the end? Oh, so they have I don't know how, they have a very special cafeteria. I didn't have this when I was in elementary school, but they have ice cream. It looks like they have self-serve ice cream. So what flavors of ice cream do we have here? So what do we have this one here? What is this? Strawberry, could be strawberry. And then what's in the middle here? Chocolate and vanilla. Good. Yeah, so they have the 3. Now, if it was caramel, I would be very happy. I like caramel ice cream as well. Oh, maybe summer camp. Or they're just at a very, very special elementary school. Okay. So let's go over our sentences. Okay, so these are our key sentences that we're going to try to find the right blank for. Okay, so I'll go over the sentences with the students. So we have number 1, what flavor do you want? Okay, and then you can listen and repeat. Number 2, what's for lunch? What's for lunch? And number 3, me too. Okay, me too. So of course I'm going a little bit quicker. Of course with your students you'd go a bit slower. But since we're adults, then you can probably understand me and know what the sentence is. Okay, it's going to go a little bit quicker. Okay, so now let's listen. Okay, let's listen to our dialogue, and let's try to find out where our sentences go. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and 3 here, and figure out where they go. So while we're displaying this, I will say using the annotate function, if you're using Zoom, is a good way to kind of scaffold for your students, okay? So I can put the sentences here. What was it? What flavors? Oops, sorry. It was, what flavors do you want? Yes, what flavor do you want? So we can put our sentence here. Oops, sorry. Let's delete all of them. So we can put our sentences on the side. What flavor do you want? Good. What's for lunch? Very good. That was number 2. And do you remember what was number 3? What was number 3? Was me too. Okay, so on Zoom you can show, okay? You can still have this open for the students. Okay, might be a little bit difficult, maybe use a different color. So now let's listen to the audio, okay? Let's listen to the audio. Let me know in chat if you can hear the audio well, okay? Sometimes I have to change a setting or two. All right, so let's listen.
Oh, I'm hungry. Me too. What's for lunch? Spaghetti. What's for dessert? Ice cream. What flavor do you want? I want strawberry.
Okay, you can hear it good. So now, so we have here, so in here we can ask our students to read the first sentence. So I can ask for volunteers or, listen and repeat with the students. So, oh, I'm hungry. And then you can listen and repeat. And then can you tell me which sentence goes here? What goes in the first spot? Goes in the first spot. Maria Alejandra, I'm going to give you, can you tell me? Hopefully I gave you a thing. Okay. So what's the answer here? So, oh, I'm hungry. What does she say?
What's for lunch? Oh no, sorry. Me too. It was me too.
Me too. Very good. Thank you.
Sorry.
No problem. No, it's okay. Thank you. Very good. So, me too. So that was what number? Number 3. So we can put number 3. Okay. So we can put number 3 in the box. Okay. And then we have our second picture. So the boy says spaghetti. What did the girl say first? What did the girl say first? Very good. What's for lunch? Good. What's for lunch? And what number was that? Number 2. Very good, Claire. Number 2. So then you can use the annotate function and put number 2. Okay. And then last one, number 3. Or not number 3, the last box. So the girl is saying, I want strawberry. And what does the boy say? What does the boy say? Number 1, what flavor do you want? Very good. What flavor do you want? Okay. And then you can delete all of it. And then in the ebook, you can check the answer. So you can fill in like this. Okay. And then now displaying here, a good way to have the students practice, they don't have the function on the webinars, but they do have it in the meetings. You can set up breakout rooms, okay? And then have the students role play, okay? Have the students practice with a partner or in groups and do it this way. So if you had groups of 4, maybe student number 1 and 2, do the first 2 pictures, student 3 and 4, do the second 2 pictures. And then kind of have them practice, do it that way. Other drilling, you can have all the boys practice the boy sentence, all the girls practice the girl sentence, and do a listen and repeat. Okay? So there's a lot of different ways to get the students to practice speaking. Okay? So you can do in pairs, in groups, as a whole class, separate left and right. Okay? So get the students to practice the dialogue. Okay? How to do the breakout rooms? You can check in the Zoom settings. You can preset your breakout rooms. So as a teacher, you know which students work well together, so you can put them, predetermine the rooms that they go into, or you can kind of randomize it. So what that does is it sets different, basically different screens for you. It shows you, excuse me, it shows you what students are in which room, and then as the teacher, you can go into each room and watch the students practice. So it's kind of the same as if you were in person, where you know, if you change the students' desks and then you walk around, it's kind of the similar concept, except you're doing it virtually. So then you're going into each room that way. You can find like tutorials on Zoom to figure out how to do that. Won't have enough time today to go into it, but yeah. Really quick, I'll look at this question here. What can we do if the students keep pronouncing the dialogue wrong, even when they listen to the audio and we practice them repeating the phrases? The best you can do, even is just more repetition and kind of having them listen to it. So if it gets very serious, I'm not sure if it gets into the zone of maybe they have kind of a speech kind of, I wouldn't say impediment, but like something to do with their speech. But just trying to get them to repeat, and maybe if the sentences are too long, break it down into words. So instead of going full through, oh, I'm hungry, oh, I'm hungry. So break it down a little bit into, first have them repeat, oh, I'm hungry. Like take it into short pieces with the repetition, right? So like just trying to do different ways. Kenna says record themselves. That's a good way. So they can listen and they can see the difference of what they're saying. If they don't understand what's so different, that's another way they can go about it. Yeah, using eSmart class and practicing. It's just a lot of practice so with getting the pronunciation. Okay, and now we're going in to it's your turn. So now we're creating the dialogue. Okay, so we practice question here, what's for lunch? What's for lunch? And then here, now it's kind of a personalization. You can have the students answer. So we saw in the dialogue, when the student asked what's for lunch, they answered spaghetti. So now if you ask your class, what's for lunch? You can tell me what's for lunch. Okay? So Claire says pizza. Jose says jjajangmyeon. Okay? So we have a lot of different things for lunch. All right? So then going after that, we go into our look and learn. So now we've gone into look and learn. So now here we're practicing and reviewing our vocabulary. Okay, so I did pre-teach the vocabulary already, but then here comes that kind of extra practice. So if the students weren't saying it correctly, here comes that extra practice to get them to practice the vocabulary even more. Okay, so we can look at our cards. So we're playing the audio.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Okay, so have them listen and repeat here. And then we have a game here. Okay, so here I'm going to ask for some volunteers in the chat, or not in the chat, but in voice. So if you want to do the game, put your hand up. So this is a memory game. Okay, this is a memory game. So there's word cards and there's pictures. So we need to match them. So can I get any volunteers? So Andrea Martinez. Get ready. So pick two numbers for me. All right, pick two numbers for me. Hello, Andrea.
Number 6.
Number 6. So what word is
And number 12.
And number 12. So what picture is this?
Noodles.
Noodles? Oh.
No, spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Good. And number 12.
Sorry.
That was
And 12.
sandwich. Okay. Thank you for volunteering. Okay. Let's get another one. Can we get another person? Let's try to get one correct here. Kyung-hee, Lee Kyung-hee from Korea. Can I get you to pick two numbers? So we know where the picture of the sandwich and the spaghetti is. Can I have two more numbers?
Number 4.
Number 4. Oh, noodles.
Number 6.
Oh, number 6. Oh, that one was spaghetti. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Erica. Coming to you, Erica. Oh, hold on. Oh, I think I did Adam. Sorry. Erica, where are you? There you go. Can you give me two more numbers? We'll go until we can get one match, guys.
Number 2.
Number 2, fried chicken.
Oh my goodness. And number 9.
Number 9. Oh, spaghetti.
Oh no.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank
Thank you. I think we have one. Does everyone have the good memory? I think Kenna. Kenna, you've been waiting. Let's go with Kenna.
Okay, so number 6 and number 9.
Number 6 and number 9.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Good. So,
Yeah.
one more time with Kenna. Kenna? Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Very good. Okay, thank you. So there was one. Let's see if we can speed run. Speed run the last one. Pizza. Burger. Sandwich. Pizza's here.
Pizza.
Fried chicken was here.
Chicken.
Hamburger.
Hamburger.
Noodles.
Noodles.
And sandwich. So it took us 26 clicks. And then if the students get it really quickly, you can reset, and then it's completely different. So yeah, so it's quick new there. Okay, so that's our memory game. So this practices, again, the vocabulary. So every time the students find, let's see if I can find one, hamburger,
Hamburger.
you can do the dialogue with them. So ask the student that they guess correct, what's for lunch? Or have the class say together, what's for lunch? And the student will say hamburger, okay, and get them to practice. All right. And then we go into more listen, point, and repeat. Okay. So here, again, this is just kind of listening to the dialogue and then practicing the sentences. So here now we're practicing what do they want for lunch? And then they want a sandwich. So again, the students, again, can listen and repeat, okay? And then you can either do it a little differently, and after they listen and repeat, you can give them the answer. So if I said, he wants a sandwich, see if the students can't tell you which number or point to the picture, okay? Point to the picture. So what number? He wants a sandwich. Can you tell me what number that one is? Number 5. Okay, very good. So you can kind of do that. You can also go over, again, more with the targets and go through that, okay? So that was the ebook. Okay, so now, so we finished Link and Say, we finished Look and Learn. Now we're going to go into grocery shopping. So let's go back to our presentation. Back into our presentation. So I have a lot of different things here. So we're going grocery shopping. So with you guys, since you're adults, I just put the words. With the younger learners, I'll show later, you can probably have less groceries and just show pictures. So, you know, if the students don't know what pepperoni is, so if you have less words and show pictures to associate with them, you can do it that way. So here we have a lot of different groceries, and we're going to cook, okay? So we're going to cook, but we need to make a grocery list. Okay? So first one here, let's go grocery shopping to make pizza. We're going to make pizza. So can I have any hands in the chat? Can you tell me your list of pizza? So with the students, you can give them time, and they can write down their own list. You can have them open up a Word doc and then share their screen. So instead of their camera, they can share their screen, and you can see what list they're making. So does anyone want to share, just reading off the list of ingredients here? Cindy, do you want to say a grocery list? I know some hands are still up from the previous game. So Cindy, if you want to, I'm going to give you a chance here. Hopefully you're ready. I saw your hand was still up from the previous one, so I'm not sure. Okay, maybe not. Shy? Okay, let's go with Maria Del Rosario. Maria? So can you tell me something? So go ahead, you can all write in the chat as well. So what are you going to use to make pizza? Hopefully Maria's ready. I'm also looking in the chat. So we have cheese, oil, flour, ketchup, onion.
Sorry, yeah. Cheese,
So
right.
cheese,
onion,
onion,
oil. You have to use oil, okay.
yeah, cheese,
Tomato,
tomatoes, okay,
salt,
salt, okay.
bacon,
Oh, bacon, good. I like that pizza.
right? And well, mushroom. It could be right. Depending on what kind of pizza you're going to prepare.
So, well, what kind of pizza you like? So this is all personal. Like everyone's list will be different, right?
The American pizza.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your pizza list.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. So then you can circle here, and then we can delete that circle. So flour. Flour also depends on if you have pre-made pizza crusts. So here's kind of, oh yeah, so you can put flour, you can put chicken, a lot of these ingredients you can put on a pizza. Does anyone in chat like anchovy pizza? Any anchovy pizzas? Any anchovy pizza lovers? So the fish could go on the pizza as well. Tomato, cheese, and mushroom, keep it simple. Oh, we have one. My roommate when I was in university loved anchovy pizza as well. So sometimes we'd have to get half and half. Okay, so then let's go through our other one. Next one, a sandwich. A sandwich. Who wants to tell me their lists to buy to make a sandwich? Anyone new? Let's see. Anyone new? Let's see. Paulina, can you tell me your grocery list for a sandwich?
Yes, in this case, bread, cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, and ketchup. Also depends on the in this case.
So we had bread, cheese, lettuce, ketchup.
Tomatoes, lettuce, ketchup. Depends. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. So chicken, yeah, so interesting what kind of, so we have a good almost bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Okay. Bacon and bread. So there's a BLT, you go making a BLT. Anyone put garlic? Any garlic on their sandwiches? So you can kind of have for fun with the students as well. I always like to kind of make outrageous foods just to get reactions from the students. No, I see no fish though, no fish sandwiches. You can always fry the fish in the oil. Okay. And then if you want to have a bit more fun, so here's the kind of different things that we can put on the sandwich. And then you can kind of have fun with it. So here now it's kind of a guessing game instead of making a list, okay? So now we have, can you think of Gary Teacher's grocery list for his special burger? So I'm going to take out some ingredients on my list here, and then the students kind of have to write down the list they think that I'm going to use with the ingredients that I'm going to use for my burger. Okay. So, what do you think I'm going to put on my burger? So then they can write down their list and make a list, and then I can show my list. So my special burger has salt, cheese, bread, mushroom, onion, tomato, bacon, ketchup, lettuce, and beef. Okay. So it's basically a bacon burger. A little bit of salt. Maybe not as much salt. I put salt just to kind of season the beef. Okay. And then we can go into the spaghetti. What is the special spaghetti, you think? Okay. Running a bit out of time, so almost to the end here anyway. But the special spaghetti, kind of do it this way. We have the noodles. I like to dip bread into the sauce, so that's why I have bread here. And I'm not sure if those who know in actual, well, when I was young, how my mom made spaghetti, so I think it's actually Filipino spaghetti. We do have ketchup in the sauce, so it's actually banana ketchup. But we do put ketchup in the sauce as well. So I grew up with kind of sweet spaghetti. So I'm growing up. So this is kind of a grocery shopping list or grocery shopping activity, and you can do it with your students. Okay, and then like I talked about, if depending on the level of the students, you can just have less words and then just add pictures for the students. So like here, if they don't know what meat is, like beef, they don't know, oh, that's cow meat, so beef, or they just have meat, flour, cheese, oil. Just showing them a visual, giving the students visuals for the grocery list. What are they going to put in, okay? And then some other things. So I did make a PPT worksheet for the students. So this is, you can do an extra activity or homework. The PPT worksheet I took, I learned something as well from our EduTech webinars. If you haven't seen, from Todd Bukins, who did some previous webinars. So doing a PPT worksheet with the students. So just going to show an example here. So here's what I did. So taking the audio, again, so this can be a review, and this can be homework, this can be an in-class activity. So taking here, what we have, where did my cursor go? Okay, there it is. So you can embed the audio into it, the students can listen, and then I can't edit because of the version, but they could drag the words into the box or into the blank. Okay, so instead of the traditional fill in the blank, you can do it this way. Another one, so again, we're taking the audio from the book. So they listen to the audio. So this is practicing their vocabulary. And then they have to drag the picture into the box. So number one was fried chicken. So then they would move the fried chicken into this box. Okay. And then going into, if you want the students to practice writing, we have the question here, give them a picture, and then they can fill in, so they can type in, okay? So then once they finish, and then also trying to do a personalization one, so they can add a picture of what they like, and then write the sentence. So after they finish here, they can save, of course, they can save the worksheet with their name, and then if you have a personal Google Drive, let me go here. So here, so like here, this is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So if you have your Google Drive or a OneDrive, and the students all downloaded this worksheet, they all saved it with their name, you can create another folder here. So like I have webinar class turn-in October 14th. The students would just upload their file into this folder. And this is a way that they can turn it in, and then you can take a look at it, okay? So I will be sharing this in a second, okay? So let me go back. And then some other group, pair, and individual projects. So going off of the grocery list, the students can make their own restaurants, or just create their own menu, or just make an own recipe, okay? So you can limit it to their 6 words, okay? So make a recipe for fried chicken, make your sandwich recipe, okay? And they can do different ones. So I gave the credit here. So these are some things I found online. So they can write about their restaurant, and then they can make a menu, making their own price. So they can do it handwritten. Person is a great artist if they can't draw. Or they can use online websites like Canva, canva.com. So here, this is some of my favorite food, and like I made my own, menu. So being from California, I'm always used to $1 tacos, so Taco Tuesdays. So I have fish tacos, carnitas, shrimp, carne asada, so $1 tacos. Again, Korean fried chicken, so soy sauce, garlic, original, sweet and spicy. Just having fun with it. My favorite beverages, coconut juice, water, and some soda. Okay, so the students can make that, and then they can share it in class in the next class, or they can even film themselves doing it, presenting, if they want to do it that way. So you can get really creative. There's a lot of resources. If you check our YouTube channel, we've shared a lot of different resources that you can use. Especially check Todd Buchan's webinars on our YouTube. A lot of things with EduTech. Just listening once, so those of you that did attend his webinar, I do highly recommend going through it again in case you didn't understand it. Okay. And then some final comments I have regarding online classes. If you're using Zoom, utilize the break rooms, or if there's any functions that allow splitting up your class to get them to be able to practice speaking more. Okay. And then, alternatives would be to have the students kind of pair up outside of class or in a group. They can, group chats or, video call with each other in groups and kind of set up that way. And then figure out the classroom management rules that work for you, whether that's muting your students and only allowing them to unmute when they're participating, or, having different cues in class. Kind of some basic final comments for that. Okay. This is my email. Feel free to utilize me as a resource. I don't mind if you guys email me with any questions that you have regarding your class, regarding any activities. Feel free to email me if you want to exchange ideas. I can kind of help you with that. Okay, so this is my email here. Take a snapshot. Well, you also get the presentation, so if you don't need that as well. So for certificates, we do have some of these lovely people in the chat right now. For your country that you're from, these are the people, these are the emails that we do ask for you to contact for the certificates. So for those that are joining in all these countries, we had a lot from Peru, we had a lot from Ecuador, we have all these in Mexico, Korea. These are our emails for the contacts for your certificates. Okay, I know our consultant in Mexico is in the chat, Claudia, wonderful Claudia. She'll take care of you guys in Mexico, and just contact them. And I do ask that you be a little patient with them. We do have another webinar coming up next week, and so they will be getting a lot of requests. So give them a little bit of time, and then if you haven't received your certificate in, say, a week or 2 weeks, please go to our Facebook. If it comes a long time, please go to our Facebook and message us on Facebook. We can follow up personally with our partners to make sure that you do receive your certificate. We've had some cases where the attendee did send an email to our partner, and our partner didn't receive it, so it got lost somewhere. And then there was another case where our partner did send the certificate to the attendee, but the attendee didn't receive it. So in those kind of cases, please contact us so we can kind of figure it out for you guys. check our YouTube channel. Okay, so eFuture or eFuture ELT on YouTube. All of those webinars that I referenced with Todd, our EduTech. I've done a lot of videos as well for online digital tools, and we have some model lessons on there. We have a kind of story time for those that you have younger learners. We have story time. Me and my colleague Sue have put a lot of effort into those, tried to make them as entertaining as well. So you can take a look at those on our YouTube channel. And for those that don't know about eSmart class as well, I've done a intro walkthrough series on how to use it and what kind of tools that it has online. And hopefully you haven't left yet. Before I forget, I'm going to send a link here into the chat now. This has my presentation, the worksheet, and the 2 audio files that I use inside the worksheet. Please confirm with me whether this works. I double-checked myself, but I want to make sure that you guys get this right now. So for those that can click it, if you can take a look. Okay, so my presentation is in there, so you can take a look at it. My email is in there in case you didn't get it earlier, as well as the contact info. I did see, so just reading out what my colleague Sue has written in the chat, we had some teachers ask about materials for teens. We are mostly focused on primary, but we do have some reading books that can be used for teens. So look up Reading Town, Reading World, and Reading Planet will be for teens, okay? So Judith, if you didn't receive from the last webinar, please message us on Facebook, and we will get that sorted for you. I personally look at the Facebook page, so I will be seeing if you can message me on Facebook or send an email, we can get it figured out for you. So that is it for me today, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for sitting through this over 1 hour of kind of giving you an idea of how to do a model lesson, whether with Smart English or hand in hand or with your course book. I hope this was of some help for you guys. Please, email me if you need it. We do have another webinar coming up next week about speaking and listening. So our next installment of our expert series. So we have actually 2 presenters next week. We have David Noonan and Julie Chue. So please sign up for that next week. I know we've been getting a lot of feedback for speaking and listening webinars. So we have an expert coming in for that. The link, if you go to our Facebook page, we do have the link. I don't have it readily available, but if you go on our Facebook page, you can find the webinar link there, okay? So thank you guys again so much. Hopefully, I always try my best to not go too quickly. I think I paced myself a bit better this week. I didn't have to rush too much at the end. So thank you guys for attending, and hope you are all up. So the link has been posted in the chat for next week's webinar. So that's where you can sign up. So I'll keep it going for a little bit so you can see. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you all are well, all your loved ones are well, and hopefully, in the future, we can do these kinds of trainings in person. So for those that are in Colombia, our colleague Danny has just posted the email. So it looks like they have a new email here for the certificates. So I'll be sure to update that, Danny, for next week. So for those in Colombia, please send that email out. And thank you all so much. Okay, so take care, and I will see you next week. I will be hosting for next week with our expert. All right? So thank you all, and we'll see you next week. Take care.